It seems that this city is in a perpetual state of sunset. The twilight starscape and the sunset are visible at all times. There's a lot of color variety, beautiful lighting, and overall vibrancy. I love it. I'd expect nothing less from liminal space. It's all frozen time. It's weird calling a vaporwave city a liminal space, because it technically isn't, but I don't think that really matters. Nostalgic aesthetics group a bunch of subgenres into a single collective interest. If you like liminal spaces, you might like vaporwave. If you like vaporwave, you might like mall culture. If you like mall culture, you might like retro consumerism. If you like retro consumerism, you might like Fruitiger Aero. If you like Fruitiger Aero, you might like dreamcore, or weirdcore, and so on. You get what I'm saying, right? All of these things are linked to nostalgia. They're just different flavors of nostalgia. And even more coincidentally, these aesthetics originated during the technological expansion from the beginning of the 1980s to the end of the 2000s. Those 3 decades in particular are where people look for their nostalgia fix. Anything before 1980 is considered too old because, well, what were people even doing for fun before the 80s? True, we did have TV back then. But what else? Yeah, not much. Though I will say, in 1975, we got the Altair 8800, which is recognized as the first commercially available PC. Not that it did a whole lot, though, just rudimentary computing tasks, far from anything that can be considered entertainment. As for the other end of the spectrum, the 2010s up until today, nostalgia isn't really identifiable anymore. Technology and general media feels too samey at this point. The most memorable thing I can point out about the previous decade was the clown epidemic of 2016. But that doesn't even really have anything to do with technology, besides the fact that there was media coverage of the epidemic everywhere. As for the current decade, well, 2020 happened, which was hell on earth. See, this is what I mean. People reach back for the 80s, 90s, and 2000s because the world was changing the most during that time. The technological expansion was extremely exciting. Everything felt so new, unique, knowable, and identifiable. The world had color, character, and a lot of our fondest memories. In hindsight, the technological expansion unironically shaped the world into something undesirable for a lot of people. Because now it feels like we have too much technology. But we didn't know that back then. During those 3 decades, the world felt balanced. We had enough technology for life to be fun and convenient, but not so much that we didn't have better things to do. A lot of us wish the world kept that balance. Too little technology feels like we're living in the Stone Age. Too much technology feels like we'll be enslaved to AI overlords in the future. Imagine this. It's the 1980s. Nintendo just released the NES and the first Super Mario Bros. Game. Now, of course, 40 years later, we don't care. The novelty is long gone. But back then, the brand new concept of video games felt whimsical. It was something truly new to do. You could interact directly with fiction and take control of it. Nowadays, you'll see hero shooters get announced and think, ugh, more AAA slop no one cares about. Those games have every right to exist, of course, but you see the mindset change, right? The market is saturated to the point where we need to scrutinize every game we see so we know exactly where to spend our money. I miss the days where I was a little kid. My parents bought me games, and I was too young to deeply think about the games I play or criticize them, because I couldn't afford to criticize them. I just had to get the most out of what I had. There was a certain charm to it all. I mentioned Fruitiger Aero before. This is one of the aesthetics that helped improve the identity of technology in the 2000s specifically. A lot of tech companies gave their user interfaces this shiny, clean design that combined nature with technological futurism. Picture this: a bright, beautiful grassy field. In this field, there's ponds of crystal clear water with colorful exotic fish. The bubbles in the water are shiny and prismatic. In the distance, a shimmering glass and metal city that reflects dazzling sunlight on a day with blue skies. That is Frutiger Aero, a nostalgic aesthetic that makes you think of outdated hardware, which links back to Vaporwave, and by extension, liminal spaces. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a Frutiger Aero room in liminal space. I hope we do. That'd feel so refreshing. You know, it's weird we haven't mentioned the back rooms yet. It's basically a gigantic liminal space. The difference between our liminal space and the back rooms is that there aren't any bacteria monsters that are trying to kill us. It's peaceful here. Just you, me, and an infinite series of rooms that make us feel nostalgic. You think maybe, if we stay here long enough, we'll turn into a couple of creepy liminal space monsters that roam this place for eternity? Well, it hasn't happened yet, and to be honest, I don't think it will. Unless it already has. Definitely not. I think we would know. Something like that would probably be extremely obvious. Oh, I just remembered something. Do you remember those old screensavers that Windows XP and Windows 95 computers used to have? The ones where squiggly rainbow pipes would randomly dart across the screen. Yeah, they were used to prevent burn-in on CRT screens. I also remember one where you would travel through a maze with brick walls, and you'd occasionally see a smiley face. There's definitely many more nostalgic screensavers that exist, but there's no way I'm going to remember them all. I keep talking about screens, and the things that have to do with screens. It reminds me of a darker side of nostalgia, both on the internet and TV. Old internet screamers and TV hijackings. Back when the internet was primitive and the overall culture was underdeveloped, there were a lot of people who made an epidemic out of posting jump scares on various social media, especially YouTube. The most infamous screamer of all time is a video called Ghost Car. You know this one is famous because it's over 20 years old and has over 46 million views. At first, it looks like a commercial for a car, but no. It's actually a commercial for Keffi, a coffee and energy drink company. In the video, you watch a car drive down a normal-looking road with peaceful music, and then a scary zombie lady pops up and screams at you. This is pretty much how most 2000s kids learned what a jump scare was. There was also the scary maze game, which is pretty much equally as infamous. Eventually, the screamer epidemic ended going into the 2010s, when people realized that jump scares could potentially be dangerous depending on who you are or what situation you're in. It was both an ethical and a safety issue, so it had to stop. As for TV hijackings, well, there's a reason you don't really see those anymore. TV security is a lot more advanced and thorough nowadays. A famous example of a TV hijacking is the Max Headroom incident from 1987. And strangely, the culprits behind the hijacking were never identified. Whoever they were, they got away with it. It's a baffling mystery that was never solved. 2 TV stations were hijacked within 3 hours, a sports report and PBS. When the hijacking occurred, viewers saw a man wearing a rubber Max Headroom mask and sunglasses with a corrugated metal screen swinging in the background to mimic the character's signature geometric graphic. He spouted disjointed audio, bizarre rumbles, and snippets of TV catchphrases before the video ended with the hijacker being spanked with a fly swatter. I wish I was making that up, but it's true. That's a real thing that really happened. Though I will say, Mac's headroom was the inspiration for Mac tonight, and that's definitely something to be grateful for. Well, I'm done yapping for now. Want to keep exploring? Sounds good to me. I'm gonna miss this vaporwave city, but there's more adventures to be had in liminal space. Yeah, I recognize those aesthetics. They're all in tag spam on Tumblr posts. I'm telling you right now, Frutiger Arrow doesn't have a single thing to do with an SNES screenshot.